a couple of months into our relationship, the kisses started to become really intense, really passionate. I know for myself, I would intend to only have a little small kiss, but then it was like you want more and more and more.
You know, you. Hello everyone.
Hi.
Welcome back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, this is your first video, we want to welcome you to the Worth the Wait family, and you can join us here by clicking the subscribe button down below and also turning on that notification bell.
That's right.
We want you to be the first to know whenever we drop a new video. Now for today's topic, let's get to it.
So we've been asked this question before in the past, but it recently came up again, and we thought it would be nice to do a little video dedicated just to answering this question. And that is, should Christians, or should we as Christians, kiss before marriage? Should we engage in kissing before marriage? And before we get into our thoughts on that, we want to share our story first. So when we started our relationship and we talked about our boundaries because our desire was to save ourselves from marriage, we decided that kissing was fine. It wasn't going to be a problem. Sure. No problem there. And a couple of months into our relationship, we started to become more passionate with the way we would kiss. Like, I know for me, I would intend for it to just be a little small kiss, and it would become more heavy and passionate and a little hot. You know what I mean? And it was actually when, long story short, when we were separated physically. So I was studying abroad in the UK and Brandon was here in the US. It was actually during that time that we made the decision to stop kissing. Separately, the Lord convicted us that if we wanted to make it to marriage and to keep ourselves and to honor Him, that we were going to have to stop kissing. And it was a very difficult decision to make. But we, God brought us on the same page, and we talked about it, and we made that decision to save our next kiss for our wedding day. And
which
so,
happened almost 2 years later after that point.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, without interfering with the designated photographers, I want to warn you that you may need to take this photo right now. Because this photo is a history-making photo, and I'm going to tell you why. Some time ago, Brandon and Sharetta made a pledge to each other unto God that they will enter into a fast, a kissing fast. They decided that they would no longer kiss until they are pronounced husband and wife. Well, Brandon and Sharetta, it gives me great delight to let you know that that day has arrived and you can now end your fast.
Crazy, y'all.
Yeah,
600 plus days.
it was a little awkward, the first time we saw each other again, because it was like, oh, hi, hey, and that was it.
Bye. See ya.
And we could feel the difference in our relationship, but truly, that's the decision that God led us to make, and it also taught us a lot. We share this story to highlight some of the challenges, or one of the challenges actually, that you can experience when you engage in kissing before marriage.
Yep.
If you have made that commitment to save yourself from marriage, and if you want to honor God in that way in your relationship, then kissing can put you on some very dangerous ground that can lead to temptation. And we're going to tell you a little bit about why.
Right. But it doesn't always happen that way. We just want to be clear. Like, of course, there's, times when you kiss and nothing. You're right. And so it can, right? But then the natural response in our bodies, though, is to want more and more. And that leads us to this point about the science behind kissing, y'all. Because when we found this out, we were like, yo, that's crazy. Like, when people kiss, like, lip to lip, mouth to mouth, like, there's like so much like lip sensitivity that's like connected to our brains that like activates like our limbic system, which is where like the seat of like all of our pleasures and like feels and desires is. Like, when two people kiss, like there's actually like a lot of reactions that take place in your body. Like your blood vessels dilate, your brain releases all this energy, and like you're also at the same time your brain also releases these chemicals, dopamine, oxytocin and serotonin. So like all these chemicals that are like really related to like the pleasure senses of your body, right? And like it's designed to make you want to, want more and more of that thing. Dopamine, we know the reactions of dopamine with, drugs and that sort of thing. Oxytocin, which is related to relationship attachment, right?
And bonding.
Yeah, and bonding. So it creates that bond with whomever you're, kissing. Like you start to associate, positive feelings and positive senses with this person. And that can be such a blessing in marriage. Like when it's in that marital commitment, that attachment and that, just that affection healthy affection you can have in marriage. But at the same time, it can also be really threatening to like a young man or young woman who are trying to court one another with purity, right?
Yeah.
Because they begin to develop this, physical attraction with one another biologically because of the science behind our bodies, right?
Yeah. You want more.
Yeah, even before. Yeah, even before
more.
they get to marriage. So, yeah, that's one of the reasons why, we have to be very aware of the reactions in our bodies that can happen from kissing, and not just say, oh, I can kiss and nothing. Nah, there's too much sensitivity all up in this region for it to just be a kiss. Like it can't just be a kiss.
Matthew 26 verse 41 tells us to watch and pray because the spirit is willing but the flesh is weak. And sometimes we can think that we have self-control and that it's like, no, I'm only going to go this far, but it can really put you in the heat of the moment and be very tempting and inviting. And in our opinion, we think that it's best to just leave that off the table completely so that you don't put yourself in that difficult situation.
Yeah, I mean, if courtship is truly to be this space where you are this judgment area where like you're trying to determine whether or not this person is the person that God is leading you to marry, that constant like release of oxytocin and all these other chemicals in your brain when you kiss this person can really cloud your proper judgment and can begin to make you feel like, oh, like this person, I have a attraction to them. They are winning my heart. When in fact, it's just that the chemical reactions that are taking place in your brain from actually kissing this person, from engaging in other activity that can lead you down a path that you both don't want to go down, right? So it's very important. The Bible gives us principles. It's very important for us to keep our minds, guard our hearts, right, with all diligence, because it tells us out of this comes all the issues of life that you can face. So, understanding the importance of guarding our minds, understanding that we want to protect our minds so that God can clearly communicate with us about the potential or the future of this relationship. And then point number 2, which I love, in Song of Solomon, we'll put up on the screen, Song of Solomon 2 verse 7, and also Song of Solomon chapter 3 verse 5, I think. The Shulamite woman, she's talking to the daughters of Jerusalem, and she says, awaken not love before it desires, right? It's like don't arouse love before it desires. And like I think that's so powerful when you think about it, in the context of what we're talking about, which is like don't awaken that physical intimacy before it's appropriate. Like when you start off, this relationship, just diving right into all this physical intimacy and this contact with this other person through kissing, it can really rush that feeling of love, the feelings of love, even before it's probably appropriate, even before it's warranted. Like you might begin to think like, oh, this person is my future lover. This is the best thing that's ever happened to me. When in fact, it may be, the very opposite of that.
Yeah,
so
that's
true.
That's true. And I think the biggest thing with this, and I think when people ask the question, it's because it's really hard to imagine a relationship where you're not kissing the person.
Right.
And I get it, because I was there too. I was just like, how are we in a relationship but we're not doing that? And then you wonder, like, if we do get married, is it going to be awkward on our wedding day? Will we finally kiss in front of everybody? But more than that, more than the perception, what I want to encourage you, whoever's watching this, to think about is just what would be most pleasing to God. If I'm kissing this person and I'm engaging in kissing and it's making my thoughts and my body feel and experience things that I'm not in a covenant marriage to continue to explore, then what is it really leading me to do? We have to be at a point where we're so willing to surrender it all to the Lord and not hold on to anything. And if he's making it clear to us, he's bringing that conviction on our heart that, look, cut the kissing. We have to be willing. We have to be willing to do that. And also, last point, I know some people differentiate the types of kissing. So it's like kiss, peck, no tongue. Like there's so many, I guess, levels to it.
Don't even get me started about the tongue, y'all. That's a whole nother story. All the
There's so
testosterone and stuff.
many
That's a completely different story.
There's so many levels to how you can kiss, but again, our point is just what door is it opening when you explore that?
Right.
There's so many other ways, I think, to innocently show affection to someone without potentially putting yourself in the path of going somewhere that you don't want to go because you want to honor God in your relationship. So that's what we wanted to share with you all on this topic. We would love to know your thoughts. Maybe if you have a personal experience with this yourself, drop it in the comments. We want to talk with you all, find out what you think, what is your experience. So share that below.
And one last word of encouragement, just to follow up on what Sharetta was saying there. Truly take time to earnestly pray for God's direction on this.
Yeah.
Truly take time to ask God, what does he desire you to do? And study it out for yourselves. Like, don't take this video as the end all be all, or, get all up in your feelings because we stomping on like what you like to do in your relationship or what you may like to do in your relationship. But like, really study it out for yourself, and then ask for God to give you the strength, give you the willpower to do what he desires you to do.
Amen.
So we thank you all once again. If you're watching this right now, we want to encourage you to please join the Work the Wait family. Click that subscribe button, and again, turn on the notification bell and share this video with someone that is
share this
important
video with
to
somebody.
you. Yeah.
That's right.
All right, y'all. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.